How much was it for
Welcome back to Paradise Island in the Bahamas and the PokerStars.net Caribbean Adventure. It's the final table of the 100K Super High Roller. 3 players remain coming back from the dinner break. The chip leader right now is Scott Seaver. He has a stack of 6.27 million. Just behind him, with just over 6 million, is David Sands, and bringing up the rear with a 15 big blind stack, Nick Schulman playing 2.4 million, with the blinds going up to 80 and 160,000 with a 20,000 ante. James Hartigan with Joe Stapleton, rejoined by Lee Jones from PokerStars.
He's back. Gentlemen, it's good to be here. What have I missed?
Well, obviously you missed the 4th place elimination.
The departure of Kerry Katz.
Yes, indeed.
The guy who is a command unto his own name.
And that's all you missed.
That first hand back from the break is raise and take it for Scott Seaver, which for those of you keeping count is hand 164 of this final table.
And to answer the burning question on everyone's minds, hot dogs, hamburgers, and pizza.
Watch Bama Notre Dame.
And a side salad.
14-0 in 5 minutes.
And 2 cookies, but who's counting?
Jeez, 21 already.
A reminder that if you want to get in touch, that's the hashtag to use on Twitter, PCALive. Alternatively, you can email nuts@pokerstars.tv. And in case you weren't watching earlier on, we are now available on the PokerStars TV app. It's not just the old TV shows. Live streams are now available on that app, available for iOS and Android devices.
Have you guys worked out what Shulman's tattoo says?
Eugene.
Forever. Looks like the word story.
Something a story.
Nick shoving from the small blind. And Scott gives up his big blind. Shulman still the short stack, and will be on the button in the next hand. So one of the discussion points over dinner, Lee, was the general passivity of this table. We're so used to the modern game, and especially an event like a super high roller, that there's a lot of action pre-flop. You get your 3-bet in, you get your 4-bet in, and next thing you know, there's some guy 5-betting with 5 deuce offsuit. This has generally been either raise or take it, or if there is a 3-bet, very rare for someone to then defend to the 3-bet.
Well, so interestingly, we were talking about that when I was on before, and I was saying that they were going to sit around and wait for Kerry Katz to bust, and Joe was saying, no, 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 these guys are, here out for blood. Maybe, do you think that maybe there is a ladder effect and they're paying attention to it? Particularly now that we're at 3 players, and it's like, it's like on the order of $500,000 from 3rd to 2nd.
We had a discussion about this on dinner, and it, a good point that Ilya, our Russian commentator, made is that, Scott Seaver had Kerry Katz to his left, who had a pretty short stack, so Scott wasn't opening a ton of pots, which hasn't been giving Doc Sands the opportunity to 3-bet him very often, meaning when Scott was opening, that Doc tended to have to give him more credit.
Right, because he had Kerry behind him with a short stack, sure.
So he thinks that that's sort of handcuffed things, and that makes sense to me.
This was an unraised pot, by the way. Seaver limped from the small. Doc Sands checked his option.
By the way, Doc's bets, do you think he knows exactly how large they are, or is he just going for a general feel for the number of chips he's after?
I can't imagine a guy's taking that long to make his decisions and not acutely aware of his betting amounts versus pot size. I see what you mean, because you don't seem specifically like cutting them out.
Right, exactly.
Gets checked down, and Doc Sands shows King 7 of clubs for a pair of 7s. Don't win that pot. I want to give a shout out to a couple of our viewers in the UK. Carlos says, I'm still watching in the United Kingdom, where it is 3:15 in the morning, grinding the free roll, currently in 82nd position with 178 players remaining.
UK, that's one of the good ones.
And we've got Zach in Manchester. I'm watching the PCA. It isn't even 3:30 in the morning yet. If this isn't love for poker, I don't know what is. And we have to remember, guys, this is not a weekend. This is a Monday night. Tomorrow is a school day.
Yeah, but when you have this kind of money on the line, and big names, these guys playing for ridiculous sums of money, it's pretty cool. And fireworks in the background of the table. What more do you want?
I don't want anything more. I tell you what, I'm going to stay here till the very end.
You're the man.
He's read the small print in his contract, that's why.
A very large print.
You're
No,
going
you
to-
may not leave early,
no,
ever.
Until the bitter end, Joe Stapleton. This means you.
It's in everyone's contract.
Sands raising, small to big. And Shulman will fold for deuce.
Mike Haxton and wife now on the rail.
I think I'm down to a single. Does anyone have a 5?
Yeah, whenever you're like that, I use all my everything.
I got a 5.
I
All right, he's gonna take care of you for us. Thanks. Oh, did you put all 3 right here?
Good
Oh,
tipper.
that's okay. All right. Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. You're good.
Young
Just go
people,
over and see
take
him.
note here. These guys were not willing to tip the waiter $1 for the drinks. He says, "Who's got a 5?"
There you go. Thank you.
And then they're going, "Okay, the guy who walks out of here next is going to have $750,000, you know."
Exactly. All I will say is these guys are super high rollers. They've played 100,000 to get into this thing. They're all guaranteed a 6-figure score. 2 of them are guaranteed a 7-figure score. And there are cameras around.
Right.
Someone fall? Yeah, he fell.
Another race from Sands.
happened?
Shulman and Seaver.
See ya.
I've only fallen twice going down the stage.
Colin says,
what it
don't
is
forget
is
about
you
me,
see the
guys. I'm
neon
still
thing?
watching in that
It's
7-Eleven
raised.
parking lot. Good thing they sell food.
Yeah, it looks flat, but it's really an inch.
Go
raised.
home.
It's just easy to just fall over.
He's got the mobile app. He's hooked.
Can't imagine it's too safe in any
Colin,
7-Eleven parking
go
lot.
home. We'll like send you a text or something.
No, they're all here. I just divided
And
them
also, Lee
No,
here's
I've
got
played a few
the history of sending food to people's houses.
That's true. We'll send a pizza. We'll send a pizza
I
to
didn't
your
lose
house,
any of
man.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard that classic story, but what was it, in the early days of Poker Stars?
It was 2003.
2003.
2003. Yeah, and the first time we rolled out a 100-200 limit hold'em game. It was the biggest game available to American players at the time. And everybody just there was like 300-person line because we'd only opened one table. And these guys were just playing and playing and
Feels like
playing,
it's been
and
a
I
lot
just came
longer
on
day
and
than it
said,
should feel like,
you know,
doesn't
who wants a pizza? And nobody took me seriously except Negrano. You know, he heard free food, and he said, yeah, I'm in.
A little anticlimactic.
So I shipped a vegetarian pizza from Pizza Hut to his house. And so he's typing into the chat. He says, "Oh my God, there's a guy at the door with a pizza."
Mark says, watching PCA Live from the Netherlands, how can I ever get any sleep with this new improved iPad app?
The Netherlands, one of the good ones, but not as good as Holland.
And Ralph says, it is 4:15 in the morning in Germany, and the German player isn't even in it anymore, and he's still watching.
I need like an inside.
Looks like Shulman's come over the top of Seaver's button raise.
2-1.
Moving all in, just over 2 million.
Yeah.
You know, Shulman has ace-5. We haven't seen Seaver's whole cards yet. Scott and Doc Sands a little bit reticent.
I'll tell you what.
show the cameras.
Shulman is winning.
Give me a sec.
You think if Scott's ahead of ace-5, he's called already?
The cards are already on their backs, and we're, you know, snap, snap, snap.
Shulman has plenty of chips to do enough damage to Scott's stack that he can't just snap call with any 2.
And if I recall correctly, he went in with 15 blinds, right? That is the perfect 3-bet shove stack.
Scott gives it up. Hello to Web Hunky.
There you go.
He says it's
Scott was dominated.
5:18 in Lithuania. Great show so far.
Almost 2.1 exactly.
Simon says, don't know whether or not it's smart to sleep or keep watching and then attend class in 4 hours without any sleep. Please tell me.
Sleep.
Okay, if it's an engineering or a math class, you better get sleep. If it's like a soft social studies or, you know, a class like that, you can basically just power through it.
And Jonas says, I'm still with you in Copenhagen where it's 4:20 in the morning. I'm grinding the big 4 on PokerStars. Good luck me, please. Good luck, Jonas. amazing dedication from our audience.
It's just awesome, isn't it? I think it's great.
And with the button and the action, he raises, makes it 320,000. Nick folds from the small over to Scott in the large.
Not just a call from
calls.
Scott.
That's right. Just calls with 2 9s.
320.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't put it.
Little balancing act.
Sorry about that. Almost got away with that.
I think, I mean, I'm not an expert at this, but my gut tells me he's a bit too deep to shove, and his 9s are far too strong to fold, so.
Doesn't want to potentially race.
Yeah.
Against the one guy that can bust him.
And as flops go, that's not a bad one.
One overcard, one of the better flops you could ask for.
No ace, no king, one overcard. I'll tell you what, Joe. I don't think he knows down to the chip. Now, maybe his fingers are just like brilliant at doing that, but I think he could be plus or minus a chip or two from whatever his target is.
Scott check calling the flop for 440,000. And Zach has just asked on Twitter, has anyone spoken to the players about them not showing their cards to the camera pre-flop?
I didn't, did you?
I don't think it's been addressed, but I think it's something that we do need to look at in the future. If we are going to do these live streams of final tables and players are not going to show their whole cards, it's going to cause us problems down the line. I don't quite know what their issue is, to be honest.
Check, check on the turn. Boy, I don't know. It's kind of a fishy check from Doc. We don't know what his cards are. Oh, check
Scott's
on the river.
good.
Less
Scott's
fishy.
good.
Yeah, obviously now.
4 5 of hearts for a pair of 4s. Got to a pocket 9s. Got roll in his pocket.
I'd be pretty worried when Doc checks the turn when the ace hits. I think he's more likely to check when he hits it than when he misses it.
I do love the fact, Lee, that people still think that you have absolute power within the corridors of PokerStars.
You're making this up, right?
No, because
No, definitely.
Mark has just tweeted, Lee, during the break we saw footage from the PokerStars big game. What are the odds of ever getting any new episodes? So now we want you to make decisions on the TV department.
Oh, okay. I understand.
There are people who outrank me at a distance that I can't even see them from my office who make those kinds of decisions. And they're all named John.
John, can we please have the big game back?
All in.
Shulman shoving the button with King 6 of spades.
One down. Boy, that was a call he didn't want.
And Doc Sands will call pretty quickly.
But we're still not going to see his cards, even when he calls.
Pocket 10s.
Ooh.
Shulman with just the 1 overcard.
Yeah, and what he doesn't know is one of his kings is dead, too.
So he's actually 7-3 underdog here.
Yeah, I don't know if those numbers, you guys can probably tell me, did they include the dead king?
Yes.
If we see it, it includes it.
Let's see the flop, please.
Nick Shulman at risk.
32% chance we lose him.
Wow. There
He's
is
got
a
no clubs,
10 on the
and
flop.
He's got no clubs.
It's looking pretty bad. He's likely to be drawing dead on the turn, and we're about to go heads up in this super high roller tournament.
Oh,
Turn.
he's got some outs.
Gives him.
Chop outs as well.
That's no, I mean that's all. That's all he had. No, he can hit a queen, can't he?
Exactly.
Oh my
A
goodness.
queen for the straight, a club for a chop. So a queen for the outright win, a club for the chop. Any other card, and that's it. We go heads up, and Shulman's out in third. It's the 3 of hearts on the river, so we lose Nick Shulman in third place, $744,140, and we go heads up. Scott Seaver will play Doc Sands for the title, the trophy, and the $2 million first prize. Sands will go into the heads up battle with the advantage. He's playing 8.6 million, Seaver 6.15 million.
Yeah, sure.
So let's just talk about the difference in prize money now, guys.
This is the way I assumed.
As we relive the moment that Nick Schulman saw himself drawing super thin on the flop. 1.259 million for second. 2 million for the winner.
I flop a set, and not only is he drawn to a chop, he's drawn to a win.
Makes you wonder with that big difference, more than $700,000, whether they might start talking numbers.
It's actually this hard.
It's just actually this fucking hard. They don't need to fake it.
Oh, okay. Can you move him for me?
Sounds like these guys are both trying to butter up the other one now.
Well, I was saying, I mean, I wouldn't want to just do like straight chip chop. I like not to like.
Here we go.
I assume I have some kind of edge playing heads up, but.
I mean, if we were 800 big blinds deep, I would agree. But
oh yeah, no, well, I have a huge edge. But by edge, I mean, like I think I'm probably like 55-45, assuming it was dead even stacks, like something really small. So, which is like a 10% edge. So I would chop if you want to like give me 5% bonus on whatever it is. I would take half of what I think my edge is to chop it. If you're interested in that. But I wouldn't really want to negotiate other than that.
I mean, I'll look at the numbers, but how much do you have?
Honestly, I have no idea. Okay. And so if you want, I would chip chop plus 5%.
What's
Yeah,
interesting?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay. I'm fine playing them.
I mean,
I'll talk to my #1 confidant over here, see what he says, but
Sans is going to seek some advice.
Because we're only
say the reasons.
we're only 30 deep.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can win 50, maybe 54, which would then still be an 8% edge.
615.
And that's why I'm said I would be willing to take half of what I think it is. He needs talks. He needs talks.
is there some reason to think that Seaver is really
Yeah, he said he would like
have an edge?
Well, that's
Says he
interesting that
55-45.
Doc isn't arguing that he's a
55-45,
55%
obviously
favorite.
never happened,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd
Thanks. Hey, yeah.
Could run that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I agree he's slightly better than me heads up, but 55-45 seems absurd.
I would do like 51.5 to 48.5, but he's just not being realistic. He thinks his edge could be that big when it's. I mean, the next level you have 70 bigs to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking play him.
Well, it's. I mean, an hour 40 minutes from now, so that's like 35 hands from now. There's only 60 bigs.
that's the thing I do. Like when I have this sweet hand, it snaps, and I folded king 9 in the small. Like I heard like Nick like pushed the stack. Yeah. And I looked at the king 9, and I hear, I'm like, whoa, someone just flicked their cards real fast. So I mucked king. I think I did. I can't remember, but I think I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a live read on Doc Sans.
Yeah. Do you like that strategy still?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I also don't know what the chip difference is.
That doesn't matter though in heads up, right? He is. What does Scott? How much does Scott have?
Well, it's also like 52.48 is just like a 15K difference or something. It's like maybe just wanted to like lower the variance.
What blows my mind is these guys just saying, okay, he's, Scott says, I'm a 55-45 favorite.
It looks like 6'3",
and they're saying,
maybe
no,
6'2".
52-48. Come on, guys, let's be real. You are, I mean, you are nowhere near that level of detail in your
Lee, these numbers
estimates.
are incredibly accurate. Down to 0.1%.
They are so, they are just making up numbers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Sorry, I don't think we're gonna chop anyway.
Okay.
I mean, I would give you something, but I'm not gonna give you 5%.
Okay. I mean, we can play for a bit and change our minds or not based on how it goes.
Oh, we're playing.
Yeah, we're just playing.
So they will play on. There will be no deal.
Wait, Luca.
It's an interesting way of approaching the negotiation.
I would have a, not just mild, but very strong preference to be able to sit here if I can. Like, it really hurts my back to do this side view. Like here or
use this camera.
Yeah, I want my chair to be here. It really hurts my back to go sideways.
No problem.
If I can
I'll do
that.
the same thing then. We'll just
Yeah.
at each other. Yeah. Can we do that?
The dealer's like, oh,
Oh no, we're
crap.
gonna both move to the left actually.
Yeah.
If you guys, if we can agree to that, as long as it's, you know, it's super hard with both of you on the ends. If you guys
Oh, we'll pitch close to the dealer.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll take the extra effort.
Sure.
How about
But
we
I
let them sit where they
very
want? If they
strongly
start
prefer
showing their whole cards to the camera.
Thank you,
Where
hon.
do you want your
I
chips?
think that's
on that
fair.
side?
I think that's quite
Yeah,
fair,
we'll put 'em
James.
on this side, please. You got him? You look like a pro.
Can we send one of those people in the cool black outfits up to tell them to show their
I figured
cards?
I'd
to
just
the
use this
camera?
one here, yeah.
And by them, we mean Doc Sands.
Well, I mean, I was just gonna stay here and put the cards here.
Right, if you move that lower slightly.
Like here?
Should we color up some of these blues too, or I guess we can leave them.
Yeah, if we can color
Hey,
up
why don't you
some.
guys just run the whole
I
tournament?
would color up some greens too.
Just keep them on the side or whatever. But yeah, I'd color up greens also.
Also, we want some
Yeah, they'll
cocktails
look
down
good,
here. And how about
just
some
like
potato
yeah.
chips?
Maybe we should change the color of the felt. Do you like the lighting in here?
By the way, whatever happens, congrats.
They said they were resetting it to 45 flat.
Can we get the BCS game on the graphic board?
Oh, okay.
Also, it's
Yeah.
71
Congrats, you
degrees in
played
here,
real
but we prefer 72 and a half. Can we get that? Because
No, they have to have a negotiation over the temperature.
My edge is 3.5%, but only at a perfect 72 and a half degrees.
Steve is saying, I want a 72, and Doc is like, I want 74. Well, how about 73? No, because I have an edge
What,
in
is that no
temperature
intro?
selection.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
This could be an absolutely grueling heads-up match, by the way.
No, nothing will be as grueling as ones that
How much
Hardigan
does
and I
he
have
have?
been through. So,
Yeah,
is
It's
10
going on,
Vance
shit,
out there?
6.6?
No,
6.2.
we're okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you have.
No one's particularly deep,
But if either one puts on a Cardinals hat,
right?
I am out of here.
Is that good?
A little bit more.
Okay. It's fine.
I understand. How much did Nick shove that last hand? 2.2 million?
A little less, but around that.
2.1, I think it was.
Yeah, right around 2-2 actually.
Do you know what we
I
needed?
can't move again.
Tiny little bit more to the right.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Just making a TV show here, guys. No big deal.
Do they know we're actually playing a tournament here, not just making a TV show?
they don't.
Yeah, can I point out this tournament wouldn't exist if it wasn't a TV show.
It's a chicken and egg situation, except this egg clearly came first. I would give us a 55% edge in making a TV show over Scott Seaver. And
No,
Doc Sands.
I would say it would be more like a 53% edge.
Let's split the difference, guys. 54.
Okay.
Okay, just this one time. If we'll make the temperature 71 degrees.
So, just to clarify, they did talk about a potential deal, but Doc Sands didn't like what Scott proposed. They've decided to play on. They can always reopen negotiations a bit later on, depending how it goes heads up. Blinds will still be 81.60 with a 20k ante. And as we can see, Doc Sands does have the slight advantage with 8.6 million. Although, as he conceded to Tom Marchese on the rail, he believes that Scott Seaver probably does have the edge over him as a heads-up player. But they are pretty shallow, and anything can happen.
8.6 and 5,000.
I hope somehow it comes down to the 5,000.
It could.
It's going to come down to that one chip they recovered for Scott Seaver. See each player's chip movement throughout the day today.
I feel like
I
I'm
should be
watching
buttered.
an inverse of the
Nick should
presidential
be buttered.
election or something.
I agree.
That's what we need. We need Nate Silver here. He would tell us what
Nick
Scott
should be buttered
Seaver's
last
edge
time.
over
Here, so
Doc
tell
Sands
Steve
is.
about
Well, he could have told us at last year's.
Exactly.
He was
Exactly.
big. Yeah. I had just paid both lines. So.
And for those of you that are watching who know Nate Silver is, know also that he is a very avid poker player and routinely shows up at poker player parties.
Wait, why is the clock running?
He said he was resetting it to 45:30, but now it's running. Should we play? No, he just reset it to 45:30 and then it started.
Well, let's get this heads-up battle started. Let's just head back down to the floor and rejoin our floor man, Robbie Thompson.
Welcome back to the PCA 10. We're here at the final table of the Super High Roller event where we have 2 contestants left, Mr. Scott Sievers, Mr. Doc Sands. Let's give them a big round of applause, everybody, for making it thus far.
Two Scott Sievers. That's Scott Sievers.
He's
All right, we have 45 minutes left at this level. Blinds are still 80,000 and 160 with the 40,000 ante. Good luck, players. Dealer, shuffle up and deal, please.
We do wish the best of luck to Doc Sands and all of the Scott Sievers.
Apparently, we're still playing three-handed. Scott's like, you call me whatever you want to. Just show me that big check.
Oh, yeah. 320.
320.
Scott comes out swinging. Min raising his button.
Wow, Scott Sievers turned into Dan Shack.
In today's heads-up battle, Scott Sievers has chosen Dan Shack as his avatar.
Doc Sands is going with the Carry Cats avatar.
I think it's neat that we allow them to choose their own avatar for heads-up play.
As long as they don't choose pictures of puppies or their kids, we're good.
Chuck.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. The 2 guys you don't want to show the whole card camera as their cards.
Thank you.
Playing heads up.
Yep. Sweet.
I feel like we're watching some kind of game in an alternate universe where Dan Shack is playing against Carry Cats, and we don't get to see the cards.
There could very well be an alternate universe where that's happening.
Did I actually fall asleep during the dinner break, and this is actually my nightmare?
Depends if Tim Vance strolls in.
How much?
440,000.
James, it's Randy Dorfman on line 2 for you.
By the way, I can confirm that during the dinner break, we did actually talk to both players and have asked them to be more generous with showing their whole cards to the cameras. I think that situation made it worse.
I mean, we do use RFID on the other tables. Maybe that's just what we have to switch to for this one. And guess what? Not up to you guys anymore.
We have RFID on the other tables, but we're using whole cams here.
Whole cameras look much sexier on TV when you actually see the peaks. That's why.
You're making that part up, right?
No, it's really cool. It's still like a novelty to see that little, you know, spy cam, the lipstick cam.
Modulo the fact that it's not having anything to look at.
Scott gave up the lead on the flop. Bet from Sands. Scott doesn't seem to love his hand.
Call.
He calls. A jack for Doc Sands.
Showed it 3 times. Oh God, this is ridiculous.
Well, you wanted to sit there, buddy.
Probably less ridiculous if Scott had won the hand.
Woof.
Well, top pair to running trips.
Just to answer a couple of quick questions on Twitter, Brad says, how many entries in the Super High Roller this year? 47 players, 59 entries because there were 12 reloads during the first day. And to answer
$1.2 million in reloads.
To answer Tyler's question, how long of a delay is this on? The image is delayed by 40 minutes. So we're all commentating live. We're seeing the picture as you're seeing it, and you're hearing us as we speak. We're commentating on a delayed feed.
So what you see is what we see.
Exactly, and as we saw there, Lee, Doc Sands extends the chip lead. More than 2-1 now on Seaver. 10.3 million plays 4.4. Doc Sands was the favorite coming into this final table and is still the favorite.
I think Scott's sitting there trying to figure out how he didn't win that last pot at some point.
2011 fourth, this time third. How are you feeling?
I'm a little disappointed, but you know, at the same time, I'm happy. When you get down that deep, you start thinking about winning, and you know, I was pretty happy with how I played today, barring some situations I'll take a look at. But it's bittersweet, I guess.
Nick Schillman, our third place finisher.
You know, it's interesting. It's the first time I think I've ever heard somebody bust out from the final table and use the word bittersweet, and yet there's probably no better word to describe the experience.
Oh, for sure.
We are 4 for 4 on both hole cards and avatars. We're 6 for 6.
Tyler just actually asked quickly, what's RFID? I mean, we throw around this terminology like everyone knows it. Do you know what it actually stands for?
Radio frequency identification?
Yeah.
That'll be the one. It's basically chips in the hole cards, and then there's a plate on the table that recognizes each hole card by its individual computer chip identification. So we always get hole card information perfectly every single hand, and that's what we use on our secondary feature table when we're making the TV shows. But in all seriousness, when you're cutting a TV show, it's really great to get those peaks, to get those hole card shots. Lee's shaking his head like it's not worth it enough.
You know, there are grocery stores in the United States where all the items are RFID'd, and you basically just walk your grocery cart past the counter, and it just scans the whole cart on the fly.
That's pretty cool. I was a scanner myself back in the day, one of the fastest in the Northeast. Actually, was cleaning out one of my drawers at home over Christmas at my parents' house and found one of my printouts that I'd saved that had my scan time compared to all the rest of the cashiers, and I was blowing everyone away.
And they have it plaqued up with your name at a Safeway, right?
15 years later, the store I worked for is out of business now, but
yeah, how'd that work out?
Once I left, you know, everyone went to another store.
320.
320.
Can you?
Scott just calls with Jack 10.
Yeah, can you just help maybe? Thanks.
If you just count it, stack it out there, you
Yeah.
can just toss it in as long as it's verifiable. Check.
Not a terrible flop for the one hand we know.
Actually, it is. It's like you've got enough of it that you're like, do I really want to do this?
Sands did not continue.
Interesting.
Checks twice now.
Now I like my hand if I'm Seaver.
Looks like he wants to bet it.
Scott bets a little less than a third of the pot.
And Doc is thinking that king just might be good.
It is the nut nothing. Scott made a nice size bet there to get exactly a call from the nut nothing.
Jack 10 for a pair, Jack.
Seaver wins some back. But Sands still with better than a 2-1 chip lead over his opponent as we play on. And Matt Wilson makes the observation on Twitter. Apparently they're in the Caribbean, but it is poker, so they still have to play in a darkened room. And then we have...
Guess what? It's also dark here in the Caribbean at nighttime.
Good point, well made. It is indeed 10:45 p.m. local time. Pack Kid says, guys, please bring the director of the tournament onto the microphone, please. I think he's a bit busy right now, so unfortunately he can't join us in the booth. But we do have Lee Jones with us, who's directed his fair share of live events.
320.
320.
A few of them anyway. But I never had hair like Johnny, okay? I mean, ever. Even in my dream days in the 70s, I didn't have hair like that.
Scott Seaver wins that one, raising with 8-5 offsuit. 2 in a row for him now.
You like 5.5?
Little less, I think. Here,
Okay.
I'll tell you in a second.
Thanks.
Roughly 4.9 by our calculations.
You know, they could just memorize how many total
like
chips
5
are in
flat.
play and subtract
5
their
flat,
own
thanks.
stack from it.
Bless you.
It's just a suggestion. But then you don't get a read. You know, when there's no cards in play, it's important to get reads.
By the way, everyone who is tweeting us is using the hashtag PCALive. Should point out, please do not direct your tweets at PCALive. That is a completely unconnected account.
Continuing to see.
Actually, an account which advises the people where they
He's
can
like
listen
3
to
to 2
live
favorite.
police chases on the radio.
No, he has chip count. That's
Is that what all those tweets were about?
he's
Were the live police
4 to
chases?
no,
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why you guys were talking about police chases.
Hey, there's the #1 guy on the
320.
all-time money winners list. And another dude who wanted in the shot.
You're not good at keeping secrets, then. You're just not good at keeping secrets.
I'm not
Seaver
used to seeing
raising his button
Antonio
again.
rocking a hat.
Doc defending. Tough for him to not be ahead pre-flop.
275.
Check. That's 275,000.
Scott continues for 275k, and that will get the job done.
And unlike Chris Katz, he's not going to show.
Sands not quite with the 2-1 lead now. $59 big blinds, plays 33 big blinds. 179 hands we've had at this final table. Most of those hands were when we were four-handed. Did help that we lost 3 players in the first 6 hands of the day.
Got the walk with ace-ace.
Scott Seaver had aces there in the big blind and got a walk.
I had a lot of ways to beat ace-ace. Could make two straights, 2 flushes, 2 4-of-a-kinds.
I mean, you basically found the only way to beat ace-ace.
Just throw it in the muck.
Just throw it in the muck real fast. Oh, that just doesn't even seem fair.
I got one earlier four-handed when you were on the button.
Really?
It makes you feel better.
I should say in general, it's just not even fair to get dealt ace-ace this late in a tournament, let alone. But if you do, you should probably get something. 320.
Range, you said 320,000.
Okay, he took his chips back, and if you're not used to seeing that, don't panic. He's not. He's getting ready to put out a raise.
How much?
Seaver wanting to know the size of the 3-bet.
820.
820,000 total. Scott gives it up. Hello to Simon Baker, who says, just tuned into PCA Live. I was railing a friend in the $44 tournament. Prize pool isn't the same, but unfortunately I don't know Scott Seaver and Doc Sands personally. Got to put your buddies first. And on the subject of buddies, Ben on Twitter says, watching Heads Up live from Australia with my mate Will. Shout out to Will Mays if you would be so kind. Hello, Will.